Can I be sure that Singapore will still be doing well, still be special? Nobody can be sure. Nobody can promise that we will all live happily ever after. We all have our hopes and fears, our views, and our guesses. One opinion that I know everybody would have liked to know was Mr. Lee Kuan Yew's. He's gone now, but some friends did ask him this question not too long ago. In his old age, a group of friends would regularly take Mr. Lee out for meals. The conversation would flow, and Mr. Lee would get a chance to see a different bit of the Singapore that he had built. The last time they had dinner together was in January this year, shortly before he was taken to hospital. After Mr. Lee died, one of the friends wrote to me describing what happened. Let me read her letter. As it was the start of 2015, we talked at length about the celebrations for SG50. We took turns to encourage Mr. Lee to attend as many SG50 events as possible. Actually, we hoped he would be there for the SG50 National Day Parade. Mr. Lee listened to our exhortations, but stopped short of saying yes to our suggestions. At each of our gatherings, it had become a tradition to ask Mr. Lee, will there be a Singapore many years from now? Once, Mr. Lee said, maybe. On another, Mr. Lee said, yes, if there is no corruption. This was classic Mr. Lee, ever believing in Singapore, yet ever cognizant that there will always be work to be done, that we should never take things for granted. Continuing with our tradition, and in the spirit of SG50, that evening we asked him, will there be a Singapore 50 years from now? Mr. Lee's answer took us all by surprise. That evening, for the first time, Mr. Lee said, of course there will be, even better. Mr. Lee didn't make it to the SG50 NDP, but we were happy to have 3 surviving ministers who signed the separation agreement at the parade. Encik Osman Wok, who is here with us this evening, and Mr. Ong Pang Boon, and Mr. Jek Yun Tong. They sat in a place of honor next to Mr. Lee's chair. And when we watched the video tribute to Mr. Lee, we were all moved. We could sense his spirit with us and in us. Mr. Lee would have been proud of what he had built if he had seen the NDP. Now, he's no longer here. We are on our own, but we're ready. Our resolve to defend ourselves is unquestioned. Our spirit and confidence is robust. Our unity and identity as a people has never been stronger.